The AI project that you're involved in right now, what type of offering are they bringing forward?
Yeah, so it's called Asraya. Asraya is a Sanskrit word for sanctuary, for refuge. So yeah, like it started out as a community, and it was at first kind of this blockchain slash indigenous wisdom synthesis, which was really unique. And I haven't seen too many communities or projects that had that kind of thing. And so I was immediately intrigued by it. I joined, and since then it's gone through a whole bunch of different iterations. And so essentially, it's like
This podcast is brought to you by B Micro, organic freeze-dried microgreens for easy, everyday nutrition. Sprinkle them on any meal and enjoy the benefits. Shop now at bmicro.farm and use PLANT15 to save 15% off your next order.
if you can imagine really cool people all over the world, Boulder, Mexico, Australia, Bali, Portugal,
That's where some of your team is. Is
Yeah,
that right? Your
yeah.
founders in Mexico, some of your engineers are in Buenos Aires and Bali, and yeah, very unique and capable team.
Yeah, and so if we have these people distributed around the world that all have a, kind of a cool vibe of creating cool stuff, empowerment, sovereignty, play, these kinds of threads. And so the idea is to have some kind of connection between these different nodes, pods, communities around the world that can connect, they can travel, but also collaborate and create together. And the technology piece or the AI piece is that we're able to allow AI agents, technology to basically help us cultivate our own creativity. And so there's multiple stages of what this platform that we're creating will be able to do. And, so like kind of the first phase is being able to support people with their innate creativity. So what is your authentic expression? And so being able to have a platform that helps you gain coherence, basically like moving through a very simple breath work session, of just like coherent breathing for 30 seconds, and we all know how powerful the breath is. And then we add intention of, okay, during this process, I'm connecting mind, body, and spirit. And so then when I dive into the platform and I'm exploring these different quests of how do I be the most creative person I can be? Clarifying my purpose. What is my North Star? How do I be a little bit more productive? How do I be a better steward? How do I adopt natural law into my business? Or so there's all these different quests or different components of exploration. But the idea is that we as an individual gain our own authentic approach to life, our own game. And so that's why we have this quest-like approach. So if we're talking about like a comparison, when you go into ChatGPT, you just you talk with it, but it doesn't have like an orientation, it doesn't have a direction, it doesn't have a curated library of resources to support you with creativity specifically. It's been trained on the internet, and for the most part, there's a lot of noise on the internet. There's a lot of chatter, there's a lot of disgruntledness, there's a lot of all this kind of stuff, right? The platform that we're creating has a much more condensed body of work or a body of knowledge, and it's more wisdom oriented. It's more how have people that are really good at creativity support people with creativity. So this kind of first phase is be able to help the individual identify how can I create a beautiful life and move towards this being my life's work or the way in which I make money, right? And then as we move forward in different phases, there's ways for the AI to find collaborators for you, right? So like,
Oh, okay.
so
Because
like,
it's got all this data, and it's like, hey, this would be a great connection for you.
yeah, but at the center of it is again sovereignty, and so like we get to choose what we want to put into the public library, so to speak, of our information.
Oh, okay.
And so like as an example, like if you have a certain kind of business and you're like, okay, I really could use a collaborator that's really good at X, Y, and Z, and so they're based on what the AI has public knowledge of the different people within the platform and like analyze and pattern recognize who could be like a good match.
Wow, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and so it basically would be like based on the project, based on your like style of entrepreneurship, based on who you are, your personal goals, all this kind of stuff. Like, hey, here are a few people that you may want to reach out to.
Wow.
And then you kind of take it
It's
from
like
there.
networking on steroids.
Yeah, because you have all of these,
Wow.
this
Data points to point
yeah.
to. Wow.
And again, but you get to choose like what. Yeah. So like again, it's like it's honoring that sovereignty, honoring that agency, and we have some really good contrasting examples of who not to be, you know, of, as far as like data extraction and that kind of stuff, you know, from big corporations. But it is useful to have, you know, certain data points and then ultimately like being able to monetize your wisdom via agents. And so as we move forward, we're going to have very likely agents that are going to be working on our behalf, being our own Jarvis or our own executive assistant that knows us very well, but is able to then go out into the world, into the greater internet to help us and support us with our intentions. And this is where I think the nature of the internet is going to be shifted from an extractive kind of attention-based economy to intention. So like basically like we would be offline. You and I might have a conversation about, you know, collaborating on something or finding out something. And we would have an intention like, oh yeah, I would love to find out about X, Y, and Z. And then we would say, you know, we'd tell the AI, hey, can you find out some of this stuff, right? And so kind of how we interact with AI now, we have it go out and research or find stuff on our behalf that's going to support us with our intention or our goals, right? And so being able to be findable on the other side. So like if someone's looking for how to eat, you know, healthier and you have like a book about it or a course about it, like you're not going to sell a course anymore. You're going to have an agent that has access to your library of your own personal wisdom that it's going to be able to then support somebody very specifically with what they're creating, with what they're building. So your expertise and wisdom and structured knowledge in health, supplements, healthy living, you know, that kind of stuff, whatever it might be as an example, you don't have to read, or the person doesn't have to read your entire, you know, bibliography or like your whole works.
Library of work, yeah.
They're working on a specific quest on themselves. And the AI has access to your stuff, or they can purchase your agent or access to your agents in a certain kind of way to support them in their own goals. And so it begins to be this very collaborative, very supportive environment. And again, you know, it's about not living in the digital world, but allowing it to be a part of your life, however you choose, to have it support you in the goals that you're setting for yourself, the intentions that you're creating for yourself.